You ever notice that it's kind of funny that some of the things that we started out thinking were really weird about the Dutch have just become normal?
Yeah, like things in our everyday life.
Yeah, like hagelslag. The fact that you can have bread covered in butter and chocolate sprinkles, and that's a dessert, a breakfast for dessert type of thing that people have all the time now.
It's a very popular breakfast.
I actually saw one of our neighbors having it outside the other day as we were walking by. It's just eating a piece of bread with chocolate sprinkles.
Just living her boss life. It is delicious.
But it
So,
is something that was completely weird and random to us that now we're used to.
yes, very foreign. That has me thinking. Can you give me 10 more things that we thought were weird but now have become normal?
Yeah, I think we can. So today we're going to be talking about 10 things that when we first came seemed a little weird, but now they're just completely normal to us.
Yep, we've adjusted to these tiny little things that we thought were so foreign when we moved here and now are just part of our everyday lives.
These aren't going to be the big ones. These aren't the, oh my gosh, they speak a different language here. It's so complicated. These are going to be tiny little things.
And some of them we found in our research prior to moving over here, but it's a totally different ballgame when you're reading it online and then actually in the thick of it, experiencing it in the day to day. So we're going to take you with us today and share with you 10 small things that we've come to appreciate in our daily lives here. You ready to get started?
Let's go.
Also, we just got back from our trip to Rome last night, and I think we're both a little bit loopy from lack of sleep.
A little bit, yeah. We were pretty busy.
If you want to see what we were up to on our trip to Rome, go follow us on Instagram. We don't put those out on the regular video, but still pretty cool.
Yeah, you can catch them in some of our saved stories. So we will put TNT Go Dutch on Instagram. Follow us there.
I think we should get to the first thing.
Let's do it.
The first couple actually happened here in the toilet. So while I'm using this, I figured I'd show you around. First one you may be thinking of is this one right here. The calendar in the bathroom, not a thing in America, but it does make total sense. You're in the bathroom doing your business, you can look over and see, oh, Tracy's birthday is coming up. I should probably know that one already, but because of the bathroom calendar, I can get an extra tip into that. And we don't have a whole lot of friends here in Holland, so we use ours for our YouTube schedule and some of our holidays that we have coming up. But if you're a Dutch person and you go into another person's toilet, you can find out when their birthday is or when some of their friends' birthdays are. The second one here in the bathroom is actually something that is so basic and makes so much common sense that I can't believe that it's not a thing in America. There's a brush in the bathroom. You could just reach over after you're done and clean up after yourself. They don't have that in America. Can you imagine you just completely obliterate things with your business and then you just have to kind of leave it or awkwardly try and roll up some toilet paper around your hand and wipe it off? It's disgusting. Now, if you go to people's houses, they usually do have them. But if you're out, at the Walmart or you're out at a restaurant, they don't have those there. So you end up having to either try and clean it up yourself weirdly, leaving a mess, or trying to find some sort of restroom attendant to come by and say, hey, it's time to clean up the bathroom, and it's kind of a mess. Occupy.
After you're done completing your business, you'll come to another potentially thing you're not used to, and that is the tiny little sinks that are in the WC or toilet areas. They are very, very small, have a faucet that only produces cold water, no warm or hot water in most homes. And there's kind of an art form to not getting water all over the floor with these tiny, tiny sinks. I have not yet mastered the art of that. But yeah, very tiny, small sink for a very tiny room.
We actually have one of the bigger sinks that I've seen in the bathroom. Some of them are so small, I can't even fit my entire hands in it. In the US, the sinks are about the size of like a kitchen sink.
Yeah, they're fairly standard.
We interrupt this seemingly kind of weird video to call out some people.
Sold the Soul Travels.
Tammy.
Specifically, Eric.
We got a challenge for you. Now, Eric, I know you like a spicy food just like me. And while I consider myself a smart person, I did make a dumb decision.
Marry me?
No, the one chip challenge. It's 2 million Scoville units, which is hot. And I want to try this, but I also know that I don't want to do it alone. So I got 2. So Eric, I want you to do this with me, and I think we should film it and make some really questionable decisions in our lives about this.
And speaking of questionable, let's raise the stakes a little bit, and this is where you guys come in. So the point of eating the chip is 30 minutes post. You're not allowed to drink any water, milk, ice cream. So let's up the stakes a little bit. I need your help. Put your Dutch trivia questions down below, and Tammy and I are going to ask you guys a series of Dutch trivia questions while you guys are suffering.
It sounds like I am going to be in pain and embarrassed at the same time.
Yes. I'm excited.
Let's get back to the regular video. This one we've talked about a few times.
My favorite subject.
Dutch stairs. They're really steep, like spiral staircase steep.
Without the little openings in between. And if you haven't watched our
video from a while back, Tracy fell down the stairs.
And bruised my arm and my butt so badly. I think they were bruised for a few weeks. So.
And she's not alone on this. I've fallen on the stairs before. I don't bruise as easily, thankfully, but every time I go up or down these stairs, I am always making sure I'm like holding on to things, grabbing on to the stairs above, just to try and make sure I don't kill myself on these stairs.
And this house that we are renting is from the 1930s, which I guess is pretty commonplace for these types of staircases. Most modern Dutch homes have pretty standard staircases like you would find like at a train station going up the stairs. But not us. We got the full Dutch experience.
Tracy, I kind of feel like we're taking like a family photo. Can you put?
Oh my God, it's like awkward.
One of the things that we like the best, actually, is the cafe culture here. In the U.S., cafes open from
Early morning to maybe mid-afternoon.
like 2 o'clock, 14.
And typically you can get your coffee, tea, maybe some light breakfast or pastries. But here in the Netherlands, cafe culture takes on a whole different meaning, as well as the rest of Europe, I would say.
Yeah, usually in an American cafe, you get like a coffee, maybe some pancakes. You can get lunch, but you're definitely not getting a beer.
No, and that's one of the things we love so much about cafes in the Netherlands is after a certain point, it sort of switches over to a bar culture where it's appropriate to order a beer, wine, even a cocktail.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense, and you get to use the place for the whole day instead of sitting empty for half the day. So I think we are going to get us a little coffee.
I'm getting a cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite things about living here that I didn't know before we moved over is how the Netherlands tends to repurpose old buildings and turn them into something new, give them a little bit of new life, such as this pool hall we're in, which used to be a church. It's very interesting. A lot of the churches that we've been to have been repurposed into like event centers. There's actually a silent disco that's going to be happening here in one of the churches. It's really neat that they still maintain the integrity of the buildings. There's beautiful stained glass, high ceilings, but they're given new breath, new life.
Now we're walking through the beautiful city of Leiden, which I released a video about walking here, and I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it because nobody did.
Well, we'll link it down below in case you're interested.
Yeah. But one of the great things about the Netherlands is this thing right here.
National OV.
It doesn't make sense for people in America that your entire country would use one metro system card OV system.
America is far too big of countries / series of countries to have one card that accesses your metros, trains, etc.
I mean, it would make sense. It makes total sense. Even in Texas, though, they can't get it together because they have one for Houston, they have one for Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, and I'm being generous by calling it a metro.
Oh, yeah. We use metro very, very loosely. But even if you're driving around, there's different toll systems for different states. So if you hop from state to state, it's all different
It's even that way, like in Texas. If you drive in Austin, it's one toll system versus in Houston. It is so complicated. So it makes so much sense. The most sense in the world. You have one card.
So whether you're riding the tram in Rotterdam,
or the metro in Amsterdam,
or
a bus here in Leiden.
Yes, it's all the same card.
And the trains too.
And the trains. It's so unbelievably easy. It's absolutely genius. More people need to get on this bandwagon. I don't know how America would make it work, but...
And it's even better than other places in Europe. Like the old ticket systems they used to have in Paris.
Oh yeah, like
So
if you wanted to go to the airport, you couldn't use your little carte denie, the 10-pack of tickets. That wouldn't take you to the airport. So you had to use a completely different system. So the OV card.
We use it like a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised they're still functioning.
One of the things that really surprised me when we moved here was how friendly everyone was to the dogs and how the dog culture was.
For the most part, people are friendly.
Yeah, yeah. Except for when, of course, when you walk and they leave poo behind and you walk into it. But you can take your dog into the bars and restaurants. You can't do that in America.
No. The only place you really can't is the grocery store unless it specifies. But other than that, it's a very dog-friendly country. There's a lot of places where they can run off leash. You just have to look for the signs.
Mm-hmm. And we were at the market earlier today, and there was just a dog like chilling out in the middle of the road. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, it is very, very cute. And a lot of other dog owners are friendly, and it's been a nice way to interact with other humans.
Mm-hmm. It helps that Tabasco's cute. One of the things that the U.S. isn't very good at is recycling, which probably is not a surprise to many people. But the recycling here, they actually do pretty good. You have these big things that have huge underground containers just full of recycling. And in the U.S., it was really, really bad because if we wanted to recycle cardboard, we had to flatten it all down and then take it to the school, like the elementary school, to be able to recycle it. So there's nothing like showing up to a school on a 6 o'clock on a Saturday, no one else there, just so you can drop off some recycling. One of the things that really surprised me was how many just loose cats there are around. There's just like neighborhood cats who just kind of patrol the area, see what's going on, scream. And it's really just part of the culture.
Yeah, there's that saying that if you have cats, you don't have rats. Makes sense, since a lot of the buildings here in the Netherlands are just a wee bit old.
But sometimes, like our neighbors, they have a cat.
Rosie.
And sometimes the cat decides to bring rats in to visit them. I think
Probably mice.
Yeah, I think it's more to help the other dogs that she thinks can't hunt very well.
She's just giving them present, that's all.
I don't want that present. So every once in a while we hear screaming from next door, and that's usually what it's about.
Yeah.
Tracy, are we doing another wrap-up for a video next to a canal?
Would it be a TNT Go Dutch video if we didn't?
It is really pretty.
It never gets old.
No, we know we left a ton of things out. Like when we go to the store, most of the time there are smaller stores that are owned independently and locally.
It's definitely easier to shop small here. It feels sometimes less bigger corporations, although they do exist.
Right. Your Albert Heijns, your Lidl's, all of that's still here. But you do have a lot more opportunity to be able to buy smaller and buy local. With all of that, though, we want you to put in the comments down below your small things that you've noticed whenever you moved across the world. And please comment, like, subscribe. It really does help us out.
We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers, so we'd like to get there pretty soon. So if you aren't and you're enjoying our content, feel free to do so.
I think that's going to wrap us up.
I think so, too. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.